Welcome back to Astro Tea. Let's get straight into the cosmic weather for this week. If you're here in the United States, it's Thanksgiving week. It is also going to be a turning point week. It's not a soft one. It's not a subtle one. It's definitely a turning point. So this week, Mercury stations direct and Saturn stations direct. Two big ones that I believe are going to turn the lights back on. But more than that, there is going to be clarity. There's going to be a forward motion. And there is going to be sort of this karmic exhale that I don't think any of us were expecting. There's definitely a turning point in the karmic exhale, some kind of a karmic ending that is happening, as well as a new timeline shift that we're moving into with very specific relationships that start to take on a new direction, a new energy, a new confidence that I believe that we have been missing. Let's get right into it. This week, Mercury stations direct, and I want you to really feel what that means, because whenever Mercury, the planet that represents our mindset, our mental focus, our sharpness, the way that we speak, what we communicate, the types of words that we use. If Mercury is in the retrograde phase, it means there is a fog, right? When Mercury turns direct, this is the headlights turning back on. The energy moves from review and revise into clarity and forward motion. Here's what that looks like in real life. Conversations that were stuck in loops suddenly click into place. Tech, travel, scheduling, everything that's been glitching starts to smooth out. Miscommunications untangle themselves. Your mind feels sharper, you're more decisive, and you feel a lot less drained. The overthinking phase ends and your whole energy shifts into, okay, I'm ready to act. I'm ready to speak. I'm ready to move forward. Spiritually speaking, this is the moment when the universe hands you the answers that it's been withholding. You've been pondering on something. You've been wondering about something. You couldn't figure something out. And now the universe is like, here you go. It's the answers you've been looking for. It's your integration. It's your intuition resyncing with your logic. It's the moment when you stop rehearsing old stories, old tapes, and then you start to write this next phase, whatever the next phase is, as far as where Mercury is in the house for you. Now, when Saturn turns direct, Saturn going direct is a major energetic exhale, especially this one. Saturn is currently back in Pisces. So there is a huge energetic exhale from some kind of past situation that still very much is in the present, but it's come to an end. That is the thing with this particular Saturn. It feels very, very karmic, very faded. So think about everything Saturn retrograde has been maybe pushing you through these last few weeks. Maybe you're reworking boundaries. Maybe you're learning discipline the hard way. I know that's true for me. Maybe you're repeating lessons until they finally stick. You could be experiencing patterns that you're facing around responsibility and commitment and ownership. Let's not forget about that word. Ownership is a big one. And then there could be sort of like a cleaning up from old karmic residues. That is Saturn, okay? Now, when Saturn stations direct, all of that pressure reorganizes itself. This is the moment where the karmic loop stops repeating, the lessons stabilize, the test becomes a structure. You move from corrective into constructive, okay? Delays start to shift and lift. And the result of your inner work finally starts to show. It's like huge, exhale. I know that I'm ready for that one. I know Saturn for me has been in my 6th house. I'm a Libra rising. So for me, I'm I'm ready for this day-to-day pressure to kind of like lift, because there is a lot of that. Especially in the last like several years for me, I've been learning new ways of taking care of myself. So for me, it's going to lift in the 6th house. So you want to continue to listen to this podcast where I will tell you where Saturn lifts for you. And then you start to see some correction, and move from some kind of, correction into some kind of construction. Now, what does that kind of look like? What does it feel like, right? This is when you finally follow through on the habits, basically, that you've been trying to build. Maybe some kind of commitment in a relationship that becomes clearer. You either commit or you consciously release it, right? It can always go both ways with Saturn's like direct motion. This could be your health, your career, your long-term plans that pick up momentum now, finally. And maybe something that you've been disciplined about suddenly pays off in real time, in a tangible way. And that is very much the promise of Saturn. Whenever we put in the work, wherever Saturn is at in the house that it's transiting, you can get real like payoffs in reality, in a tangible kind of way. So Mercury brings the clarity, Saturn brings the structure, and together they pull you out of that confusion into a direction, out of hesitation into commitment, out of review mode into results. Now let's talk about the emotional energy that ties all of this together. There is a deep and quiet shift that's happening, a moment where you stop pouring emotional energy into something that just cannot like grow anymore. This is the week where you choose self-worth over nostalgia. This is a big one, you guys, because when Saturn is in a sign like Pisces, we are taking a look at nostalgia. So your self-worth is going to be chosen over this nostalgic period. A part of you may feel like, bring me back to the 90s, or bring me back to like the 2000s, bring me back to this place that I was in. But there is a very big longing in this retrograde phase that can happen where you're like, I really am grieving over this. I'm kind of mourning over this time. And you feel very nostalgic. And sometimes that nostalgia can turn into some level of depression, like a depressive mode. So when Saturn moves direct here, and with Mercury now coupled moving direct, you have the courage to step into the unknown finally. There is a higher emotional energy that calls you to step into the new chapter. And that's the truth, right? Instead of settling for the almost, which is the nostalgia part, you might now feel like, okay, I'm ready. I believe in this new chapter. I don't know where it's going, but I believe in it. And the wisdom that comes from this, okay, starts to basically heal you. And you start to recognize that this new place is a healing place. Right? There is a wisdom to stop healing in the same place that hurt you. You can't find healing there. That is the biggest epiphany I believe we're going to be taking a look at the end of this week. And how interesting that it's happening for a lot of people here in the United States while Thanksgiving is unfolding, which is a time where everybody is together. Or you're in this sort of like, mode of taking a moment for yourself, to slow down. And it's of course Sagittarius season, which brings out sort of the season of sarcasm. It also brings out the season of directness, the season of being joyous, this season of gratitude. These are all related to the Sagittarian energy. So this is an energy right now where there is a new emotional front that comes with a release, and it's just not dramatic. I feel like the last couple of years, Sagittarius season was a little dramatic. Not this year. It's actually incredibly sacred and incredibly intentional because there is a new experience coupled with it. And it comes with this forward motion with Mercury and Saturn right now. Of course, we're still in that grand water trine. It's working its way through our chart, which is the ultimate, truth that we must take a look at this new chapter from a different angle. And it must have a new belief. And this belief comes naturally, and it's sacred, and it's intentional. So it's the moment you walk away from your spirit, finally saying, okay, I'm done giving my light to something that doesn't reflect it back. So it might look like letting go of someone you kept trying to fix. How many of you are in relationships or in family dynamics or in some type of relationship and connections where you are so focused on trying to fix someone? And you might find that now your intentionality is shifting. You don't want to fix that person. You might realize that you're going to step away from a job that drains you, even if it feels stable. That is a very new energy. Most of the time, we step away from situations that feel chaotic and it drains us. You might actually be in this place where, you know what, this job feels stable, but like it still kind of drains me and I'm going to step away. That might be a surprise. You might also be in the shoes of ending a habit or like a coping mechanism that you've outgrown. You don't want to grab the cigarettes anymore. You don't want to grab maybe the alcohol anymore. You don't want to cope with binge watching Netflix right now, right? It's not like you will never not do it again. It just is different this time. You might not want to go for those coping mechanisms that just feel like I'm not getting anything out of it anymore. It's not doing it for me anymore. Another version of this could be where you're dropping maybe the illusion of a potential and choosing what actually works. How many times have you found yourself in a situation where you are idolizing something? This is the potential, this is the potential, this is the potential. But then you never really get to live the practical version of that, right? So there is sort of this dropping of the illusion of that. It's not like an ending per se. It's just a redirection right now during this week. It's the start of it. So it's an initiation, I would say. You're being pulled towards a different timeline. You're shifting your reality. That's what I mean with a different timeline, by the way. If you're new to my podcast, welcome. My name is Aylin Sky. I do astrology and numerology, and I'm a spiritual strategist. And you can use this information to help yourself understand the energies that we are going through. That's my job. That's why I'm here. And my intention is that you use this energy reading to help yourself navigate the times that we're in, right? So yeah, a timeline shift is basically shifting your focus, shifting your reality and focusing on something entirely different. And I believe that this week is offering that to all of us. It's like a very big pull from this to that. Let's see. I would say that this is going to be a beautiful energy. I think that with Mercury and Saturn going direct, you understand the truth, which is the mercurial part. You commit to a new path, which is the Saturnian part, a new spiritual outcome, which is the Saturnian part. And then you might just walk towards a different direction energetically. And that is always a breakthrough, right? Like whenever we start to walk towards something that feels better, it is a breakthrough. So this week, I would say, is a pivot point. It's clarity. It is discipline that locks in. For many of you, this is going to be a very big discipline, very big like ownership that locks in. And then your emotional energy finally feels better because you are very crystal clear that this is where you need to focus. If you've been waiting, okay, for a sign to kind of move forward, this week is going to be your sign. Just living through this week is going to be your sign. Now, let's dive into where Saturn moves direct for everyone in their chart. I'm going to start with Aries, and let's see what will unfold for each of the rising signs. So you want to listen to your rising sign. Again, if you're new to my podcast, listening to your rising sign is going to give you the most accurate picture of how the transits are unfolding for you in your chart. If you listen to your sun and moon, you will get something out of it too. It'll be just more maybe on the emotional front or maybe for the long term. If you're listening to your sun sign, for example, you can certainly listen to all three, but the rising sign, based on the way that I read the houses with the system that I use, that is going to be the most accurate picture for you. So let's dive into it. For Aries and Aries rising, Saturn moves direct in your 12th house. This is going to be a time of a much needed karmic relief when it comes to your faith. It can also be a time after maybe mourning and grieving over a certain incident, a certain situation, that you find that now you're rising out of it. This is also bringing more joy into your life. It is bringing maybe an emotional flow, a more softer, intuitive approach to your life. You feel like you are at home with your relationship to God, with your relationship to the past. And as a result of it, you feel confident in your vulnerability. The key word here is going to be that you are ready to not isolate in the way that you used to when it comes to spiritual topics. You might be in this phase right now where you're ready to come out of this isolation around the topic of faith, around the topic of grief, or maybe even mourning, and you want to call in an expansive sort of way of living your life. But it's simple. It's so much more simple. You feel more rooted in your spirituality, and that's what you can expect during this time, Aries. For Taurus and Taurus rising, Saturn moves direct in your 11th house. This is your future, and you are laser focused right now when it comes to your future. Your social life, your friends, there is a new chapter that is unfolding. It feels more magical because of the people that you get to know now. And moving forward into 2026, there's truly a new beginning in the way in which you will live your life and how your social life will impact you and impact the people around you. You feel more spiritual, more aligned. You feel like you might be around people that really uplift you, that give you a new sense of confidence and excitement for the future. And I think that overall, you are going to feel like, Taurus, that you are ready to dive in and expand on the topic of what it really means to do things that feel so joyful, that feel so happy. I think that there is a sense of ownership that you're taking for how things have unfolded in the past between you and other people. And now you will do things very differently, and that clarity starts to kick in. It starts to set in this week, and it feels very spiritually aligned. You might get also a lot of invitations, so be on the lookout for that. You might be getting a lot of invitations to a lot of places. So I would say that this week is a pivot point in the way in which you feel about other people, and there is a new purpose in your social network and your social surroundings. For Gemini and Gemini rising, this is going to be such a delight. Why? Because Saturn is moving direct in your 10th house, which is your career. And your home life, of course, it's taking a look at all of those things. The houses always work together. So your home life is the opposite life, the opposite house, not the opposite life. Maybe it is. I have misspoken, but it might be true. So you might feel like that there is such a delight, a very high intuitive knowing that you have been guided all along. You are getting the biggest confirmation this week that you are headed in the right direction. Why? Because there is a new sense of ownership, a new big accomplishment that is kicking in by maybe a new career opportunity, by maybe an up-leveling in career, maybe an opportunity for you to really expand the way in which you operate out in the world. There is a sense of focus and a sense that you're being guided. It feels incredibly fated and positive. I can't wait to hear from you. I mean, you believe in this change now. I think that before you were doubting whether this was the right approach. Now you're not going to be in the doubting zone anymore. You're going to be in the zone of confidence when it comes to your career and how things are unfolding. A deeply transformative time for all the Cancers. Cancer rising. This Saturn goes direct in your 9th house. That's the house of the higher mind, right? The methodologies, the people that impact us from around different backgrounds, like around the world. There is a part of you that felt like you couldn't really be who you wanted to be when it came to your beliefs. I think that what you're realizing is that there's so many mindset shifts that you have undergone this year. And the reason you are undergoing these mind shifts is because you have been observing, in a way, other people who are now reliving the areas that you have been stuck in. What are these areas? Well, it's the way in which you view your life, the world, certain, maybe even religions. It could have to do with religions. It could also have to do with, in general, how you view the world. Maybe you are going from a pessimistic point of view to a much more positive point of view. But overall, this Saturn Direct is going to be a positive impact on your mind. The way in which you use your mind and how to keep your mind pure and protected from situations, mindsets, people who share from different backgrounds. How do you keep yourself aligned? This is going to be the biggest week in terms of you understanding how to move forward with a frame. And this frame is going to be a good foundation for you to stick to your truth versus somebody else's truth. So exciting week for you, Cancer. For Leo and Leo rising, this Saturn moves direct in your 8th house. This is a house that's deeply committal, right? You are in this place where you're going to be making a huge decision. You've been pondering maybe on this decision. Maybe you've been doubting yourself. Should I go in this new direction? Should I not go in this new direction? Because it's such a commitment between you and another person, or it's a commitment for the future that impacts the past. It impacts everything you know about maybe money and finances. It could also be somebody that you have shared, income with or shared resources with. This is going to be a time where Saturn moves direct here, and it basically says it's time to make this big decision. It's going to come easy. I think that for many of you, what I'm predicting is that you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, yeah, I'm emotionally clear. I'm ready to move forward. Why? Why is it like that? Because Mercury moves direct in your 4th house. This is home and family. This is your upbringing. And a part of you is going to feel like, I don't want to repeat the past, and therefore I see the bigger picture. So you're ready to have this new commitment. You're ready to do something so entirely different that shifts the psychology of the past. It's that deep this week. And it will impact 2026 more positively for you because of this decision that you will make this week. Fantastic for you, Leo. Can't wait to hear from you. Virgo, there's so much that I want to say. first and foremost, Saturn moves direct in the seventh house, which is business, partnerships. It's one-on-one relationships. In general, it is agreements, right? Agreements that are either verbal or written. Now, this week is going to be a turn of events for you with Saturn moving direct here. You will have a new fated event that happens. For many of you, I'm seeing either like a new document that's being presented to you or somebody who is giving you a heads up. I'm parting from you. That somebody is wanting to part from you. They're giving you a heads up in this area. I think at first there is this kind of like scarcity maybe around it, but I just want to calm the nerves down because this is actually the best thing that could have happened. Seems like everything is kind of out of control, but it's not. It is very much the best decision. And I want to remind you of something. While all of this is unfolding, there is a part of you that might want to operate the way that you have been, kind of racing, kind of trying to fix everything. Try to steer away from that because slow and steady wins the race right now. Mercury moves direct in your third house. You will continuously receive answers and the bigger picture as you move into December on how to make the best out of this opportunity. It's an opportunity that's presenting itself, even though it feels fated. So this opportunity, you're going to turn around in such a positive way. It just is about calming the nerves, calming the emotions, and allowing for this thing to unfold, accepting it as soon as you can. Because the moment that you accept it, you're going to be able to move forward with such clarity, and you will begin to see that everything is working out in your favor, not against you. Oh, Libra, your patience is going to pay off. Saturn moves direct in your sixth house. You have been setting a new lifestyle routine. And it's been a lot of moving pieces. I can see it. I can feel it. I have been going through it. The sixth house is the house of the obstacle course. I mean, we're navigating from sun up to sundown, a bunch of different things in the sixth house. So for you, you have manifested a brand new approach, and you are finally seeing the lifestyle routines that are going to pay off now. You've tried so many different approaches, especially in the last couple of years, and you have set healthier boundaries. But now it's so crystal clear. You're owning this new lifestyle. You're owning this new routine. You're owning the meaning of waking up at a certain time. You're owning all of those things, and it just feels so much lighter and freer. And I'm so excited for you, because I know that at times it felt like you wanted to pull your hair out because there's just so much going on in your day-to-day. So now you believe in what it is that you're doing, and that is the biggest shift. For Scorpio and Scorpio rising, this Saturn moves direct in the fifth house. This is the house of purpose, the house of the hobbies, the house of the children that are near you. If you don't have children, then this is going to be the house maybe of the hobbies that you do that have some kind of competitive edge. But in general, how do you really enjoy your life? There's a part of you that's been worried about whether you could enjoy your life in this kind of a way, whether you could really cut loose, whether you could really allow for yourself to move in this direction. Tons of headaches maybe in this area. So what is happening this week is that you are going to have a series of events that unfold, okay? From text messages to conversations to people around you. And you start to realize that really it's a wise decision to move towards the things that make you just feel more alive, because it's about being more alive. It is about finding yourself again within the things that used to bring you a lot of joy, but then the energy shifted. And the reason the energy shifted is because you had to take on a lot more responsibility. You had to take on a lot more ownership in this area. But now you see where it's all leading. You see the bigger picture. You have this deep inner knowing. Many of you, I'm predicting, you are going to have a dream. Might not even be related, but after this dream, the next morning you wake up and you're like, wow, I'm just different. I feel different. I will approach my passions, my hobbies, my children, my heart's desires differently because the only thing that matters is me being happy. And I think that you realize what makes you happy. You get in touch with it once again. That, oh my gosh, this is the thing. This is the thing that makes me happy. This is what I crave in this area of my life. This is what my heart really wants. And that connection right there is what brings you back to life. And that connection brings your spirit back alive as well. So super exciting week for you, Scorpio. Your intuition has been talking to you, Sagittarius, all along. You have been noticing things. You have been seeing things. You have been wondering about certain situations. But I feel that even though it might involve some people, it really also involves energetics around you, like your environment, the people around you, and maybe even the world. A part of you maybe feels like, wow, a lot has been happening and there's so much that you've been wanting to say, but you couldn't quite say it. Now, with Saturn moving direct in the 4th house, you begin to shift into a new meaning of what it feels like to feel at home, what it feels like to operate from this feeling, I'm at home with who I am. Once again, not that you didn't have it, but Saturn moves direct here, okay? Now Mercury moves direct in the 12th house, which is the house of the oceanic consciousness, which brings you to the meaning of things, the meaning of certain points of views, and you deepen that. There is an inner knowing. You answer very specific questions this week by simply meeting new people. You're going to be meeting new people, and they will remind you of a new definition of what it feels like to feel at home with who you are, with the world, with the meaning of things. It's a huge release. At the same time, there might be a situation that's shifting in family dynamics where you will be reclaiming your position. You will have your voice back. It's a big week. This might be like a power dynamic between you and somebody else. So you're like gaining your power back. Or a third version, because Sagittarius have been going through very distinct things in the last several years. Some of you Sagittariuses, you've been going through a grieving period. And even when I say this, I feel emotional. I feel like I just want to sit next to you, hold your hand and release this with you, maybe even cry with you. Because I know that many of you have been going through some kind of a grief. Sometimes maybe you couldn't express this grief the way that you want it because it was just that deep. It was that complex. It was not easy to describe it. It may have been connected to some kind of loss. I hear you. I see you. I just want you to know that. And what this grief has done is it's deepened your compassion towards what you want to see in your environment and the world around you. And again, I see you. I hear it. I can hear it without the words. So what I want to say to you is that this week, although your grief may never go away, because grief is a real thing, you will find a way now to transmute it. You will find a way now to channel it out of you in a way that also gives other people around you permission to heal. You've been maybe taking in some criticism at some level as well, direct or indirect. So what's happening this week is that you're releasing this pent-up energy around how to go about it, or whether this energy would even change. And the answer is yes. Saturn is gifting you now with a new chapter. And it's about you feeling at home with who you are. So keep me updated. There are two things that are unfolding for you, Capricorn. The first thing is Saturn moves direct in the third house. So communication opens back up. You are going to finally feel like a situation that was a standstill, it's moving forward. And it has to do with maybe policies around you, your environment. It has to do with certain regulations around you. It can also have to do with an environmental impact, like maybe a certain situation around your house was under construction. There's so many different things that can happen within like a 5-mile radius of your house that kind of sort of impact also the way in which you can move and not move forward. So there's something that was at a standstill that moves direct. So that's the first great news. The other great news is that you feel, as a result of this thing moving forward, you feel like you're shedding spiritually and mentally at the same time something that you can't even explain what it is, but what it is that the energy is shifting around you. And when the energy geographically shifts around you, you also get to shift. And you go from seeing no opportunities to opportunities. You go from there's no miracles to there is miracles that are happening. So that is the second, good news. Now, Mercury moves direct in your 11th house, which also is then the future. So you're going to think about the future. You're going to think about friends that are part of this future, networks that are around you. And then towards the end of the week, you now are dealing with a challenge. But this challenge is a very, very good challenge. This challenge is about you recognizing that you can now build something for the future. The question is are you going to take this on or not? Right? A part of you feels like, okay, well, like I don't want to be in a standstill again. And the thing is that you will not be. Okay, you will not be. It occurs as if, taking on this challenge, a new policy, a policy shift. Maybe you are going to be the spokesperson for something. Maybe you are communicating. Maybe you have to publish something. You have to write something. You have to post and be part of a schedule. These are the types of things you could be looking at. The thing that I want to say to you is that it's going to be worth your time, because the prize at the end is huge. It's more emotional than it is like a physical thing that you're going to get out of it, but it's totally going to be worth your time. You're going to feel like you're a part of something bigger than yourself, and it's beautiful. So allow for this opportunity to kick in or come in and set in your mind, and take a moment to think it through, because I believe it's going to be worth your time. Aquarius and Aquarius rising. A huge wish is coming true this week. When I tell you that your life is going to speed up, it's going to gain momentum, I'm talking like you're going to all of a sudden find yourself in 5 different, conversations, doing 5 different things, and it's all amazing. It's like the best thing that could have happened, right? Like you are moving forward. This will have to do with money, with productivity, with the way in which you spend your time. This will have to do with the future investments. Maybe you bought a little business. Maybe you invested into a business. Maybe you are in this place where you're like, wow, like I didn't know if this work or this sort of investment would pay off, and you will find yourself in this conversation where it will pay off. You've put the work in. So there is some kind of a healing kind of chaos around you that is going to start to unfold this week. And of course, if you're around family, this will be another part where it's going to be like chaos around you, but it's going to be healing. And don't worry, things are not going to fall apart, because Uranus is in the 4th house, making it look like things are going to fall apart when it comes to family dynamics. it's not that way. Also, Mercury moves direct in your career house. So there's going to be huge opportunities around career, like big success moments, I would say, when it comes to career, when it comes to how to move forward in the world. So very exciting week, emotionally integrating, emotionally very rewarding for you. For Pisces and Pisces rising, Saturn moves direct in the first house. Well, this is you. This is you. This is your behavior. This is your strategy. This is the way in which you interact with the world. This is your looks, aesthetically speaking, as well as like the way in which you want to present yourself, from like the clothes that you wear, to almost even to the point where like how you move your body, how you express yourself with the world around you. And you've been dreaming up a new version of yourself. However, you haven't been able to embrace it. Why? Why have you not been able to embrace it? Because maybe a part of you felt like, well, somebody else has to give me this approval in order for me to move forward, or I need to think about somebody else. Why am I saying that? It's because you have the South Node in Virgo in the 7th house. So maybe you felt like, oh, I have to pay attention to the details of the needs of somebody else. And none of that is actually going to be the truth this week. This week, Saturn moves direct, gives you complete power to move forward in a peaceful way, like a decision that you're making with yourself, a promise that you're making to yourself, a commitment that you will move forward now. You're going to embrace the side about you. You have gathered as much information that you needed, and now it's like go time. You will feel this shift, especially from Thursday into Friday. Mercury is going to go direct in your 9th house, which means that your beliefs are coming back online, believing into what it is that you're doing as well. And this sort of like new approach on how you view the world and how you view yourself in the world, how you move. Sagittarius season is lighting up your career horizon as well. And so things are going to just move in a beautiful new direction, and you're going to love it. I really do believe that. I think that you're in a new era of believing and detaching from the past, because you also have Pluto in the 12th house that is detaching you from the past and from certain beliefs that did not put you into the driver's seat. And now you're going to be in the driver's seat. And of course, that needs a little bit of time of adjustment. But there's a new dream that's on the horizon for what's possible. And I think that you're going to start to dream up that dream. You're going to start to be living in that dream. You're going to start to be in that dream. And you're going to start to live that dream. That's what I believe that this week is going to offer for you, Pisces. So exciting. I'm wishing everyone the best week. I hope that this week is going to bring you much needed clarity. And I believe it is. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. I wanted to say give a warm welcome to all of the people listening from Brazil. Thank you for being here. I see your downloads. I see that you're listening. I see that you're streaming from Brazil, and it just blows me away. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody who is listening, thank you. If you're in the United States and you are celebrating this week with your loved ones, I'm wishing you and your family and your loved ones the best of the best. We will be back in the next episode taking a look at the energies for December. Thank you so much, and see you soon.